This right here, what you see on the screen, is the Overton window. And in just a second, I'm going to explain a new idea about how this could help you write better copy. And viewer discretion advised, I'm also going to use metaphors that involve drugs. Oh my God, I know. So this is quick about me here. This is Radical Persuasion, where we usually break down the psychology and copywriting secrets behind great offers. Usually I'll break down a piece of copy, but in this one I wanted to share a new mental model, a new way of thinking about things that might make your next piece of copy that you write for your business, or if you're a freelancer or a copywriter, give you a new way of looking at things to make it successful. So I'm going to use this email that I recently sent to my list. It's called Radical Persuasion Secrets. If you want to get on that list, just go ahead and go to this URL right here, and you can sign up. So this one, I'm gonna go through that email and share this. I don't usually share the stuff that's on the list that goes out to the list, but this one was a fun one. So and I think it might be able to help other people spark some new cool ideas. So the Overton window. This is it right here. So Wikipedia calls it the range of policies that are politically acceptable to the mainstream population at any given time. So as you can see right here, it's got, right dead in the center is policy. And the way I was describing it is that, this could potentially help you when you're writing copy as well. And as you see, like it's a spectrum. So the Overton window is kind of the things that you are quote unquote allowed to think or speak about, and it's at any time it's nothing that's set in stone. Like it can change over time. It could be different in one country. It could be and totally different in another. But just to use an example, I'm taking drug policy in the USA as an example. So I said a drug policy might be the idea that kids should not do drugs. This is accepted both socially and in government law. Then as you move towards more freedom, something that might be considered popular would be the idea to legalize marijuana. Many state governments have done this, and it's generally accepted. So, but then you start to just slowly get away from the mainstream. So if we go back to the Overton window, policy right here, kids shouldn't do drugs, right? Probably a good idea. Then popular, let's legalize weed. It's not totally policy like, across the board. It is in some states, but as you just keep going along, you start to exit the Overton window the wilder and crazier your ideas get, until it even reaches unthinkable. So the example I used is, if this is unthinkable, then, towards more freedom, it would be something like letting toddlers buy and use LSD at your local mall, right? And if we went the totally opposite direction and talked about less freedom, if it was less freedom, that might be something like government agents showing up at your house, trying to force feed you happy pills that are daily sedatives that you are required to take. So that just kind of gives you an example of just different ideas, ways of looking at this, and understanding how it works. And you notice, like, this is the window right here, and you start to be able to really not talk about that stuff, or it starts to become unacceptable to people in general conversation. So, so basically, here's the 3-step model, the new mental model that I'm working with. And it's step 1: use a radical but still relevant idea to grab people's attention. Then use a policy or popular idea as a metaphor or like an anchor to sell your product or service that is positioned as the sensible or acceptable way of doing things. And I said this because, people usually pay attention to crazy stuff. That's why step 1, throw something radical out there. And then steps 2 and 3, because whatever the value that you're going to be communicating, you want people to be able to easily understand and relate to that. And your sensible or acceptable way of doing things, if I were to put, direct response is usually about sharing secrets with people. If I were to put secrets somewhere on the Overton window, it would probably be somewhere around the sensible or acceptable part of the spectrum, because usually out of the norm. You want to sell something that not everybody's doing, create some intrigue, some mystique, and some value, because if something's totally completely mainstream, there's really no value in uncovering and explaining it to people. So step one, use a radical idea. The reason I didn't say use an unthinkable idea is because those are by their nature unthinkable. Could turn somebody off right away, talking about that. But you can kind of gauge what you think is the difference between a radical or unthinkable idea, or test it. So the example I gave to do this, so you start with the radical, grab people's attention. They're like, what are you talking about? Then you basically root them in reality, talk about popular or policy ideas, and then you can sell them on a sensible or acceptable idea that borders on, being totally out of the norm. So just to make this more concrete, something you can play around with, and so you kind of understand how this might work in the wild, is imagine you were selling an online course that teaches people how to sell products on Amazon. So the radical idea, you might say, there's an army of people across the world that want to make you rich. They're waiting for your orders to start working for free. Sound crazy? Let me explain. So right here, you kind of get a little bit of a hook. You throw a radical idea out there that an army of people are waiting to work for you for free. Then root it in reality, anchor them, use a metaphor, talk about something that's mainstream, people that can something people can relate to. So everyone knows that tens of millions of people across the world use Amazon to make purchases every day. This is kind of bandwagon feeling, like, oh, everyone knows this. This is generally accepted. You should know it too. Billions of dollars flow through their commerce platform at the click of a button. Right? So now you've grabbed the attention, you've rooted them in reality, and by the way, this is a condensed example, so there might be some missing pieces here that would keep somebody reading, but just to give you a basic mental model structure for this, and then that's when you switch and basically take it one step further away from the Overton window, which is going to be where your product or service is going to live. So what most people don't know is that everyday people are actually selling their own products on Amazon to make an extra or even full-time income. And Amazon even pays for the delivery. So you've got an army of male people ready to deliver your products for free. Let me show you how this works. So then you tie it back to the beginning, to the radical idea. So now it makes sense. Now it's cohesive. Then you can make your pitch. So that's it for this one. Again, this one was a fun one that I felt that I wanted to share publicly. Usually videos like this and stuff that I talk about is analyzing actual copy, but I want to start throwing some ideas out when they come to me like this to see if it helps anyone else. So if you want to make sure that you get all my stuff, not just what is I share on social media or on YouTube, you can sign up for my list by going right here, my website, and then /radical persuasion secrets. All right, I will see you on the next one.